The court is in session in cause number 0136947. The case is styled State of Texas versus Brandon Sung. I have before me Mr. Sung's attorney, Mr. Michael Lindsay, and I have a motion or petition for order of non-disclosure in this case. And the state is represented by Mr. Blake Ham. Mr. Lindsay, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Your Honor, we have filed a petition in this case, and I spoke with the district attorney's office, and the requirements for non-disclosure in this case have been met. We had asked that the court grant the order of non-disclosure.
Okay, okay, now, I think Mr. Ray Shears normally handles the non-disclosure. That's the person that you probably spoke to, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I looked at the petition that we have here, and you cited that this petition is filed pursuant to Texas Code, the Texas Government Code Section 411.081. And when I looked at that provision and looked at this petition, apparently that section, it says section point.
Yeah, Your Honor, are you looking at the second amended petition?
I don't have a second amended
The
petition.
second amended petition refers to Government Code Section 411.073.
Okay, I don't have, okay, let's see. And let me look at this here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
411073. Okay, 411073. Let me look at that. Petition pled guilty. Says punishment. 073. Yeah, 411.073. Okay. Okay. 17th day of December. Yes, the second anniversary, okay. Let's see, the only class with misdemeanors entitled. I was looking at the paperwork that, I guess he had, the judgments. You have two cases. One case is cause number 281029, which is a criminal case. That was a possession of marijuana. Conviction date was December 17th of 2010. The defendant was given, the punishment was assessed at 90 days confinement at Jefferson County Jail, fine of $200, and that was probated for a period of 1 year. And in the next case, which is cause number 276590, the defendant initially, the defendant was charged with a possession of a marijuana in that case as well. And on June 9th of 2009, the defendant was placed on 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. State filed a motion to revoke the defendant's unadjudicated probation on March 29th of 2010, and on December 17th of 2010, the defendant's unadjudicated probation, 6 months, was revoked, and he was placed on regular probation. He was sentenced to 90 days, which was probated for a year, and a fine of $200. And now in both cases, the court signed a discharge of community supervision. In this case, on January 19th, 2013, and in the next case, which in the previous case was cause number 281029, the court signed a discharge of community supervision in that case on the same day. I think the only issue that the court has in the petition, it states that, I guess it gives the incorrect let me show you. On the paragraph number, on the number one, the second sentence, where it says the punishment was assessed at 1 year. And I think it was assessed at 90 days. In one case, it was assessed at 90 days, probated for 1 year, fine of it was a $200 fine.
Yes.
And I think, let me see at the end, it said something else on that same paragraph. Let me see, okay. The punishment at confinement in county jail for a term of 1 year, but the court at that time gave benefit of adult probation law and suspended execution of sentence and placed the defendant on community supervision for a period of 2 years and 6 months. And so that was incorrect as well. So based on the documentation, it says that he got 90 days probated for 1 year in each case. And I think it ended on the same day of June, which was the discharge date. And I think that's what you said, June 19 of 2013. So other than that, I guess if you make those corrections, the court, I didn't see anything else wrong. The court will be able to sign the disclosure. Did you see anything else in the that needs to be correct?
I did not, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess once you make your corrections, we'll be able to, it's all in the paperwork. I guess it just got a little, yeah.
So I'll file an amended petition with the court today.
That's fine.
And for the record, Your Honor, the state's not opposed to the request.
Okay.
Will we be able to enter the order?
Soon as I get it, soon as those corrections are made.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
For your patience, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. All right, nice seeing you.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all, you have a blessed day. That was the second amended. I didn't get that second. I needed,
If you didn't have an order with it, you wouldn't have.
I would have to get, yeah, we have to put that in the file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without an order. you would- Yeah, and now,
Yeah. Let's see, court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 330-014. Second case is cause number 330-170. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ashley Chantel Greer. Ms. Greer, is your full name Ashley Chantel Greer?
yes, sir.
Ms. Greer, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Greer, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Greer, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Greer?
I'm fine, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Greer, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. William Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Ms. Greer, in cause number 330-014, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about May 7th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fugitive from justice. Ms. Greer, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Greer, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Ms. Greer, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Judge.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Greer, I also have before me another document which is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Ms. Greer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Greer, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box that's check nolo contendere. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, Ms. Greer, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes,
The
sir.
second box states, that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Greer, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Ms. Greer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Greer, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 2 and State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Ms. Greer. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Greer, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Judge.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Greer, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
6 days county jail. Ms. Greer has credit for 6 days time served. Court costs to be taxed and retired.
Ms. Greer, the state is offering that you serve 6 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 6 days. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $387, but you will not have to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Ms. Greer, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Judge.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Judge.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Ms. Greer, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Greer, we will move on to your next case, which is cause number 330170. And this case, I have an information that alleges that on or about May 7th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of dangerous drugs. Ms. Greer, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Judge.
And to this charge, Ms. Greer, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Greer, I have before me another document before me. This document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Judge.
On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Greer, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that's checked no contendere. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Judge.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Judge.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, Ms. Greer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Judge.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Judge.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Ms. Greer, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Greer, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, go over these documents with you?
Yes, Judge.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Judge.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. The misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections? No objections. State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you've advised and counseled Ms. Greer in this case. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Your Honor, as with the case just disposed of, there is none.
Ms. Greer, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes, Judge.
Ms. Greer, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's a 1 year deferred adjudication, $400 fine, 30 hours community service, a drug and alcohol assessment, and a drug offender.
You said a drug offender class?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's drug education class.
I thought,
It's standard in the drug judge.
so it's the drug education class.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, when you say drug offenders, okay, okay. Drug ed. Okay. Ms. Greer, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $400 plus court costs of $502, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $902. You'll be required to pay a $100 reimbursement fee to the crime lab, pay $60 a month for a probation fee, $15 each month for a urinalysis fee, and reimburse Jefferson County for the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation, will be $180. Will you be able to pay the $180 a month? Okay. Now, Ms. Greer, I have before me a document
Judge, can we
that
go
is
off-
titled the,
can we
hold
go
on.
off YouTube for just a minute while we discuss the financial?
well, I was just gonna ask a few questions. I don't think it's gonna be anything that's specific.
Okay.
But if you want to, we can do that if you think it's gonna be a disclosure of non-public information that's so pursuant to Article 1.24 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure.
We can proceed, Your Honor, without going off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, Ms. Greer, now I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this to you, hand this to your attorney. He'll hand it to you. You can just take a look at that document. And I think that document was filled out back in September of 2021. On page 2, you should flip it over on the back page. Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defender Signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you could look back at that document. Is everything on that document still true and correct today?
No, sir.
There have been some changes. You can tell that to your attorney. You need to make some corrections on that,
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
then I'll just take a look at it again. You could just, yeah, you have to just make that correct, make the corrections. Okay, now, Ms. Greer, you and your attorneys you and your attorney have made some adjustments on this affidavit of injuries, is that correct? And is everything on this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, now, Ms. Greer, based on this court is gonna find that you're indigent, and based on the finding of indigence, calculator. Okay. Let's see. That's 902. Uh, 72. Okay, now, Ms. Greer, the court is gonna find that you're indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, and based on that finding of indigence, the court is going to convert your fine and court costs of $902 to 72 hours of community service. Of $60 will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 per month. Okay? So these adjustments will be made in the probation office, but this will substantially lower the total amount that you would have to pay per month. So just let me go over this again. The finding of well, first of all, the state is recommending that you be given 1 year deferred adjudication. During the 1 year deferred adjudication period, they recommended a $400 fine plus court costs of $902. And pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, that fine of $902 will be converted to 72 hours of community service. The probation fee of $60 each month will be reduced to $25 each month. You'll still be required to pay the $15 a month urinalysis fee and reimburse the county $250 for the court-appointed attorney's fees. Now, your total monthly installments, as I stated earlier, is going to be reduced. Your probation office will get with you on the reduction that will be made on your probation. Now, also, you're required to reimburse the Jefferson County or the crime lab $100. Now, Ms. Greer, do you understand? Now, you'll be paying that over a 1 year period. You're not paying it all up at one time. Do you understand that? Now, also, you'll be required to perform the regular 30 hours of community service. So the total amount of community service will be 72 plus the 30, which is 102 hours. You'll also be required to attend a drug and alcohol. You'll be required to have a drug and alcohol assessment and attend and complete the drug education class, as well as you would have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Greer, do you understand the state's offering the court's adjustments?
Yes.
And do you think it's fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept it? Okay. I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state and the adjustments that has been made by the court pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, and the court is making a finding that you are indigent. Now, Ms. Greer, if you successfully complete this probation, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as conviction, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Ms. Greer, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. All right. And Mr. Wilkerson, I think this will conclude your cases. You'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll be in recess.